to find the limit as x approaches 0 of x cubed over the sine x minus x, we have to use L'Hopital's rule. Now, well, let's check first. As x approaches 0, we have the numerator goes to 0, sine of x as x approaches 0 is just 0, and minus 0. So we have an indeterminate form of type 0 over 0. So we have to use L'Hopital's rule. So I'm going to write equals with an h over it to indicate we're using L'Hopital's rule, and 0 over 0 to write what form, indeterminate form we have. So applying L'Hopital's rule, remember that just means we have to take the derivative of our numerator and the derivative of our denominator and see what happens. Well, the derivative of our numerator is 3x squared, and that will be divided by the derivative of sine x is cosine x. The derivative of x is 1. So now we check to see what happens again. As x approaches 0, 3x squared goes to 0. Cosine of 0 is 1. So you have 1 minus 1 in the denominator, which is 0. So again, we have an indeterminate form, so we have to use L'Hopital's rule again. So that's equal to, we have to use L'Hopital's rule, and we can say that's the limit as x approaches 0, and we have to take the derivative, so we get 6x, that's an x, over the derivative of cosine x minus 1 is just negative sine x. So now let's see what happens again. As x approaches 0, 6x goes to 0. Negative sine x goes to 0 as well. So again, we have to use L'Hopital's rule. So we're going to write an equals with an h. 0 over 0 is our form. And we have the limit as x approaches 0 of 6 over negative cosine of x. And hopefully we won't have to do it much more, but let's see. So as x approaches 0, note that we know we don't have to do it anymore. For one, because our numerator is 6, so we won't have an indeterminate form. So as x approaches 0, numerator 6, and our denominator is negative cosine of 0, which is negative 1. So we are good to go. That's equal to negative 6. Okay?